The Seven Temples of Mahabalipuram, India's submerged sacred sites. Under the ocean's surface lies a collection of ancient shrines that once towered majestically along the shore before disappearing without explanation. Tales speak of 7 stunning pagodas, their spires stretching toward the heavens, astonishing all who beheld them. Yet the deities, enraged by their splendor, unleashed a colossal deluge that submerged all except a single structure, the shore temple, which endures to this day. This awe-inspiring monument rests precariously by the water's edge, worn by ages of salty winds and relentless tides. But was it truly part of a more extensive forgotten complex? For decades, scholars questioned whether the legend was mere myth, a fable retold across generations without factual foundation. However, in 2004, everything shifted. That year, one of history's most devastating tsunamis struck the Indian Ocean, ravaging coastlines and altering the terrain. As the waters withdrew from Mahabalipuram's beaches, an incredible sight emerged: enormous stone formations, sculpted pillars, and what seemed to be the remnants of temple bases were suddenly visible, uncovered after centuries beneath the waves. Observers reported spotting colossal walls and statues, their detailed engravings miraculously preserved. The find instantly drew the interest of archaeologists and marine scientists, who initiated underwater surveys to examine the area. Their findings verified the presence of a genuinely ancient site below the sea. Divers investigated the ocean floor, locating numerous sunken edifices, some positioned in deliberate layouts. Ornate stone relics, carved artifacts, and signs of constructed bases hinted at a vast settlement or temple network that had been engulfed by the waters. Several structures lay hundreds of meters from the coast, buried under sediment and ocean debris. This revelation stunned the archaeological community. The notion that entire cities or sacred complexes could lie hidden underwater was no longer mere legend, but confirmed truth. So, what befell Mahabalipuram's vanished temples? One hypothesis proposes that a catastrophic natural event, such as a tsunami or rising sea levels, gradually devoured the shoreline over millennia. Given Mahabalipuram's position along the Bay of Bengal, it is highly vulnerable to coastal decay and flooding. Some researchers argue that the temples weren't obliterated instantly, but were incrementally reclaimed by the ocean over centuries, leaving only the shore temple as a testament to their existence. Another theory connects the lost temples to Kumari Kandam, a legendary sunken continent rumored to have existed in the Indian Ocean. Ancient Tamil folklore describes an advanced society swallowed by a great flood, echoing the Atlantis narrative. While no concrete proof of such a landmass exists, the tales endure, sparking conjecture that Mahabalipuram's ruins might belong to an even grander mystery. There's also the chance that these temples were intentionally forsaken as empires shifted and new leaders redirected their efforts. Over time, storms, quakes, and the sea's steady advance may have eroded the remaining structures, fragment by fragment, until they vanished beneath the waves. One of the most captivating elements of the Seven Pagodas myth is the possibility that some submerged ruins remain whole, just beyond modern detection. The 2004 tsunami offered a fleeting look at what might lie below, but since then, shifting sands and strong currents have obscured much of it once more. Underwater archaeology remains an evolving discipline, and advancements like sonar imaging and robotic explorers may eventually unveil the full scope of Mahabalipuram's lost temples. Some experts speculate that further missions could unearth entire temple bases, drowned sculptures, and perhaps even ancient writings that shed light on the builders and their fate. For now, the shore temple stands alone, a silent guardian at the boundary of land and sea, keeping the mysteries of its drowned counterparts. Yet, the unearthing of these aquatic ruins has irrevocably transformed our understanding of this site. What was once regarded as pure fantasy now has tangible proof, revealing that the seas conceal far more of humanity's past than we ever imagined. And Mahabalipuram isn't the sole location where antiquity has been consumed by the deep. The Forgotten Realm of Doggerland, Europe's sunken prehistoric world across the globe, numerous ancient metropolises have disappeared under the ocean's surface, leaving behind only fragmented relics and tales passed through generations. Along Europe's coastline, beneath the restless waters of the North Sea, lies proof of an even more staggering disappearance, a once flourishing territory that bridged Britain to the European mainland, bustling with life and inhabited by thousands before vanishing without a trace. This is the saga of Doggerland, a primordial society consumed by the ages and the relentless sea, a land where early humans prospered before nature wiped it from existence. Millennia ago, our planet looked vastly different. Enormous ice sheets imprisoned much of Earth's water, causing sea levels to plummet and unveiling expansive territories now submerged. Among these vanished lands was Doggerland, an immense stretch of terrain linking what is now Britain, the Netherlands, Denmark, and Germany. Far from a desolate wasteland, it was a vibrant habitat of undulating hills, sprawling rivers, and thick woodlands. For ages, it sustained early nomadic tribes, hunter-gatherers who tracked animal migrations, harvested its waters, and carved out lives in a domain now lost to the depths. The earliest clues of Doggerland's existence emerged not from historical records, but from fishermen. For generations, trawlers in the North Sea have hauled up peculiar relics, primitive implements, skeletal remains, and even aged skulls, all dredged from the ocean floor. Some belonged to Ice Age beasts like mammoths and saber-toothed cats, while others were unmistakably human, proving that people once roamed this drowned world. Only in the 1900s did scientists begin grasping the magnitude of their findings. Breakthroughs in sonar technology and marine archaeology unveiled something staggering: an entire prehistoric terrain frozen beneath the waves. River channels, elevated ridges, and even faint traces of potential settlements were charted across the North Sea's bed. What had been a fertile, inhabited expanse was now a barren underwater desert. So, what led to its demise? Doggerland didn't perish abruptly, but through a gradual, inescapable transformation. As the Ice Age waned and temperatures climbed, melting glaciers triggered rising seas. Inch by inch, the waters advanced, driving its dwellers inland. Then, roughly 8,000 years ago, catastrophe struck. An event that doomed Doggerland forever, the Storegga Slide. Among history's most colossal underwater landslides, a gargantuan section of seabed near Norway gave way, unleashing a mega tsunami. Towering waves, some exceeding 30 feet, pummeled Doggerland's shores, obliterating settlements, submerging forests, and washing away entire communities. The sprawling land bridge between Britain and Europe fractured into islets before disappearing entirely beneath the ocean. For its inhabitants, the Storegga disaster must have seemed apocalyptic. Some may have escaped, fleeing to Britain or mainland Europe's higher ground. Others likely perished in the deluge, their homes and histories erased in moments. And just like that, Doggerland was gone. Yet, could remnants still lie hidden below? The North Sea is a brutal frontier for archaeologists. Its waters are turbid, its seabed ever-shifting. Still, tantalizing finds persist. Ancient tools, pieces of wooden constructs, and even preserved footprints in silt have surfaced, offering fleeting glimpses into Doggerland's final days. In 2018, high-resolution sonar revealed potential traces of submerged settlements buried under sediment. Some experts speculate that intact villages, or even burial grounds, may still await discovery, perfectly conserved beneath the waves. The greatest enigma, however, is whether Doggerland could ever be fully unearthed. Unlike other lost civilizations, it lies beneath a shallow yet tempestuous sea, where fierce storms and currents thwart exploration. Even with cutting-edge technology, much remains beyond reach, a spectral realm entombed under the North Sea. Still, Doggerland's legend endures. Some scholars propose it inspired later myths, the concept of a drowned homeland, an advanced culture lost to the sea. Could oral traditions about this sunken world have evolved into the Atlantis fable? For now, Doggerland lingers in mystery, a confirmed yet unreachable chapter of human prehistory. Its discovery underscores how much of our past is submerged, entire civilizations erased by time and nature's whims. Yet sometimes history isn't truly lost, just waiting beneath the tides for its story to resurface. The Maine Penny, an out-of-place Viking relic that defies history beneath ocean waves and buried in soil. History occasionally surfaces in the most improbable locations, forcing us to reconsider accepted narratives. This brings us to a tiny but explosively controversial object, the Maine Penny. If verified as authentic, this artifact could upend our understanding of who first reached North America. The story begins in 1957, when amateur archaeologist Guy Melgren made an astonishing find at an ancient Native American dig site in Naskeg Point, Maine. Among typical stone tools, arrowheads, and pottery shards lay a small, weathered coin. At first glance, it appeared unremarkable, just another corroded metal disc. But when specialists examined it closely, they were stunned. This wasn't a European colonial coin, nor any known Native American artifact. Laboratory analysis identified it as a Norse penny minted during the reign of King Olaf Kyrre, who ruled Norway from 1067 to 1093 AD. In essence, a genuine Viking-era coin had surfaced in coastal Maine, over 1,000 miles south of any confirmed Norse settlement. This discovery shattered conventional wisdom. While historians accept that Norse explorers like Leif Erikson established a brief settlement at L'Anse aux Meadows in Newfoundland around 1000 AD, no records suggest Vikings ventured as far south as present-day New England. The Maine Penny's existence poses an electrifying question. How did an 11th century Scandinavian coin end up buried at a Penobscot Native American site? Several theories attempt to explain this anomaly. Some scholars propose Vikings explored much farther south than previously believed, potentially establishing undocumented trading posts along the Maine coast. If true, this would dramatically expand our understanding of pre-Columbian transatlantic contact. Others suggest a less radical explanation, that the coin traveled south through indigenous trade networks over generations, perhaps originating from Norse settlements in Canada. However, skeptics challenge the coin's authenticity. They note the absence of accompanying Norse artifacts. No weapons, tools, or settlement remains were found at the site. Some speculate the penny might have been deliberately planted as a hoax. Yet scientific testing confirms the coin is genuinely an 11th century Norse artifact, leaving only its mysterious journey unexplained. The Maine Penny isn't alone in suggesting improbable ancient connections. Similar numismatic puzzles have surfaced across the Americas. Roman coins allegedly found in 1950s Texas and Venezuela. Mysterious European coins uncovered at Nova Scotia's Oak Island. Medieval Japanese coins discovered in ancient Swahili ruins in Kenya. These finds collectively hint at pre-Columbian transoceanic contacts that conventional history overlooks. While none provide definitive proof, they create a compelling pattern of anomalies. The Maine Penny remains one of archaeology's most tantalizing loose threads. It may not conclusively prove Viking presence in New England, but it stubbornly refuses to fit neatly into established historical frameworks. As with many archaeological enigmas, it raises more questions than answers. Did other civilizations reach America before Columbus? How many forgotten voyages left no written records? What other evidence might still lie buried, waiting to rewrite our history books? This humble coin serves as a potent reminder that the past often proves more complex than our textbooks suggest. For every solved historical mystery, artifacts like the Maine Penny suggest countless others remain hidden, silent challenges to our understanding of human exploration and cultural exchange. The Forgotten Monolith of Aswan, Egypt's mysterious abandoned wonder. Some historical puzzles aren't hidden in distant lands or buried underground. They stand in plain sight, etched into the very stone of antiquity. Among these, none is more remarkable than Egypt's Forgotten Monolith of Aswan, a partially carved monument that would have shattered records had it been finished. For reasons lost to time, ancient craftsmen abandoned this engineering marvel, leaving it forever imprisoned in its granite bed. The Aswan quarries along the Nile represent the pinnacle of ancient Egyptian stoneworking. These vast excavations provided the materials for civilization's most iconic structures, the towering temples of Karnak, the magnificent monuments of Luxor. Yet among these achievements, one project stands apart, not for its completion, but for its dramatic failure. The Forgotten Monolith remains partially attached to bedrock, a staggering 137-foot-long behemoth that would have weighed approximately 1,200 tons, dwarfing all other surviving Egyptian obelisks. Archaeologists believe workers began carving this colossal stone pillar during the reign of Pharaoh Hatshepsut, 15th century BCE, the powerful female ruler renowned for her ambitious construction projects. While her other obelisks still stand proudly at Karnak, this particular monument never left its quarry. The most accepted explanation suggests workers discovered critical fractures in the granite, making the stone too unstable for transportation or erection. The perfectionist Egyptian stonemasons, unwilling to compromise their standards, may have simply abandoned the flawed project. However, the full story may be more complex. The ancient Egyptians were masters of stonework, capable of repairing or repurposing damaged materials. Some scholars suggest the cracks may have carried spiritual significance, interpreted as divine disapproval of the project. In a culture where omens guided major decisions, such imperfections might have doomed the endeavor regardless of practical considerations. The site offers an unprecedented look at ancient quarrying techniques. Unlike modern methods, Egyptian craftsmen used dolerite pounding stones rather than metal tools to shape the hard granite. The surrounding trenches and tool marks provide valuable clues about their painstaking process. Workers would methodically chip away at the stone to isolate the obelisk before its intended transportation. Some theorists argue the precision of these cuts suggests lost technologies or advanced methods beyond our current understanding. Alternative explanations for the monolith's abandonment abound. Some propose it served as a training ground for apprentice stoneworkers. Others suggest political upheaval or shifting priorities may have halted construction. More controversial theories speculate about unknown ancient technologies or even extraterrestrial influence, though mainstream scholars dismiss such claims. Today, this unfinished giant serves as both a monument to human ambition and a humbling reminder of nature's limits. The visible tool marks connect us directly to those ancient craftsmen, their work frozen in time. Whether doomed by geological flaws, divine intervention, or simple overambition, the Forgotten Monolith offers priceless insights into ancient engineering while posing enduring questions about what might have been. It stands as one of history's most eloquent, incomplete masterpieces, challenging our understanding of ancient capabilities and reminding us that even the greatest civilizations faced insurmountable obstacles. The Copper Codex, ancient history's most puzzling treasure manifest. From enigmatic stone carvings, we transition to an equally baffling metallic relic, the Copper Codex, a singular artifact standing apart from its Dead Sea Scroll companions. Unlike the religious manuscripts discovered alongside it, this peculiar document presents modern scholars with an entirely different conundrum: an inventory of unimaginable wealth whose locations remain stubbornly undecipherable. Unearthed in 1952 within the same Qumran cave network that yielded the famous Dead Sea Scrolls, this exceptional artifact immediately distinguished itself. Crafted from oxidized copper rather than parchment or papyrus, the brittle metal sheets required painstaking restoration before their secrets could be examined. The script itself posed another layer of mystery, written in a peculiar Hebrew dialect with linguistic quirks that suggested either encryption or regional vernacular. Most astonishing was the content, where neighboring scrolls contained sacred texts and theological commentaries. The copper codex read like a royal treasurer's ledger, meticulously listing 64 potential hiding places for staggering quantities of precious metals and ritual objects. Modern valuations estimate the described hoard could exceed billions in contemporary currency. Yet despite numerous expeditions across 7 decades, not a single entry has been conclusively verified. Academic consensus divides sharply regarding the Codex's origins and purpose. Some historians connect it to the catastrophic Roman siege of Jerusalem, 70 CE, suggesting it documents last-ditch efforts to protect the Second Temple's sacred vessels from desecration. Others propose earlier origins, possibly linking it to the Essene community or other priestly factions inhabiting the Qumran region. The document's physical form raises equally compelling questions. Why commit such information to durable metal when contemporary practice favored perishable writing materials? This deliberate choice suggests the creators intended the information to survive extreme circumstances, perhaps anticipating future recovery attempts after some apocalyptic event. Treasure hunters face formidable obstacles in interpreting the Codex's vague topographical references. Ancient place names have shifted beyond recognition, and geographic descriptors like the dried-up reservoir or Solomon's Canal offer little concrete guidance. Modern technologies, including ground-penetrating radar and satellite imaging, have failed to produce definitive matches for any location. Scholarly debate continues regarding the Codex's fundamental nature. Could this represent 1. A genuine inventory of temple treasures smuggled from Jerusalem, 2. An elaborate hoax or symbolic text never meant for literal interpretation, 3. A ritual document with mystical rather than practical significance? The implications of potential discovery are profound. Verification of even a single cache would revolutionize our understanding of first-century Judean economic systems, temple administration practices, ancient metallurgical and hiding techniques. Yet the Copper Codex may guard its secrets indefinitely. Whether the treasures were plundered centuries ago, remain concealed in forgotten caverns, or never existed outside symbolic tradition, this metallic enigma continues to challenge historians, archaeologists, and adventurers alike. It stands as a permanent testament to antiquity's enduring capacity for mystery, a 2,000-year-old puzzle still awaiting its solution. As we contemplate this ancient riddle, we're reminded that history's greatest secrets often hide in plain sight, preserved not in crumbling stone, but in the most unexpected mediums. The Copper Codex challenges us to reconsider what we know about ancient record-keeping, the valuation of sacred objects, and the desperate measures civilizations take when facing extinction. Perhaps the true treasure lies not in gold or silver, but in the window this artifact provides into the minds of those who chose copper over parchment when recording what they deemed most precious. In this light, the Codex may have already fulfilled its purpose: to transmit across millennia not riches, but the urgent priorities of a vanishing world. The enigma of the Indus Valley, a metropolis that silently disappeared from the arid landscapes of the Middle East, we journey eastward to explore one of humanity's most perplexing historical mysteries, the sudden disappearance of the remarkably advanced Indus Valley civilization. This sophisticated Bronze Age society, contemporary with ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia, established flourishing urban centers only to abandon them completely, leaving behind puzzling questions that continue to confound researchers today. Flourishing between approximately 3,300 to 1,300 BCE across modern-day Pakistan and northwestern India, the Indus Valley Civilization, also called Harappan Civilization after its first discovered city, demonstrated unprecedented urban sophistication. Its twin metropolises, Harappa and Mohenjo-daro, reveal meticulous city planning far ahead of their time, featuring precisely aligned grid-patterned streets, advanced drainage systems, standardized brick construction, and monumental public baths indicating an impressive understanding of communal hygiene. Unlike other ancient societies that celebrated individual rulers through grand monuments, the Harappans left no obvious palaces, temples, or royal tombs. Their settlements suggest an unusually egalitarian social structure without clear evidence of priest kings or warrior elites that dominated contemporary civilizations. The civilization's economy thrived through extensive trade networks reaching distant Mesopotamia, exchanging finely crafted beads, textiles, and pottery. Most frustrating for researchers is the civilization's undeciphered script, a complex writing system preserved on thousands of seals and tablets that could unlock secrets about their governance, beliefs, and ultimate fate. Without a bilingual Rosetta Stone equivalent, these inscriptions remain mute witnesses to a lost world. After nearly 2 millennia of prosperity, the civilization entered a puzzling decline around 1900 BCE, with major urban centers completely abandoned by 1300 BCE. Unlike other ancient collapses marked by evidence of conquest or rebellion, the Harappan demise shows no signs of violent overthrow. The silent evacuation of their cities presents archaeology with one of its greatest unsolved riddles. Leading theories attempt to explain this mysterious disappearance. 1. Environmental shifts. The possible drying of the crucial Ghaggar-Hakra river system, potentially the mythical Sarasvati, due to tectonic movements or climate change, would have devastated agricultural foundations. 2. Climate disruption. Evidence suggests monsoon patterns shifted dramatically around this period, potentially causing prolonged droughts that made urban centers unsustainable. 3. Economic breakdown. The collapse of vital trade networks with Mesopotamia could have destabilized their complex urban economy. 4th, gradual de-urbanization. Archaeological records show a slow migration from cities to smaller rural settlements, rather than sudden abandonment. Controversially, some early scholars proposed an Aryan invasion theory, but the complete absence of warfare evidence in Harappan strata makes this unlikely. More plausible is that migrating groups may have arrived after the civilization's decline, occupying already abandoned sites. The most haunting aspect is the civilization's complete disappearance from historical memory. No oral traditions, no successor states claiming their legacy. Their achievements were literally buried until 20th century excavations revealed their sophistication. Recent discoveries continue to expand our understanding, with new sites like Rakhigarhi proving even larger than Mohenjo-daro. Yet fundamental questions persist. What caused such an advanced society to vanish so completely? Why did their urban model disappear without cultural continuity? The Indus Valley civilization stands as archaeology's most profound, silent mystery. A technologically advanced, peaceful society that simply walked away from its cities, leaving behind only material clues to their existence. Their enigmatic disappearance serves as a humbling reminder of civilization's fragility and how even the most sophisticated societies can vanish into history's shadows. While ruined cities whisper fragmentary tales of past glory, sometimes a single artifact. The Antikythera device. Ancient Greece's astonishing astronomical calculator. Emerging from the depths of time comes an artifact so remarkably advanced that it forces us to completely reconsider the technological capabilities of ancient civilizations. This extraordinary object, now known as the Antikythera device, was accidentally recovered in 1901 by sponge divers exploring a sunken Roman-era shipwreck near the tiny Greek island of Antikythera. Initially appearing as little more than a heavily corroded lump of bronze and wood, this unassuming mass would eventually be recognized as one of the most sophisticated mechanical wonders of antiquity. When conservators began carefully removing centuries of marine incrustation, they uncovered an intricate clockwork mechanism of precisely interlocking bronze gears, a level of mechanical complexity completely unprecedented in archaeological finds from the ancient world. Dating estimates place its creation around 100 BCE, though some scholars argue for an even earlier origin. The device's existence shatters conventional historical timelines, as nothing approaching its mechanical sophistication would reappear until the astronomical clocks of medieval Europe over a millennium later. Through painstaking analysis using modern imaging technologies like 3D X-ray tomography, researchers have reconstructed the device's original form and function. It contained at least 30 precisely calibrated bronze gears, working in concert to model celestial movements with astonishing accuracy. The mechanism could predict solar and lunar eclipses years in advance, track the irregular orbit of the moon, anticipating Kepler's laws by 1,700 years, model the positions of the 5 known planets, follow the 4-year cycle of ancient Olympic Games. The engineering precision required to create such a device implies the existence of 1. Advanced astronomical knowledge, 2. Sophisticated metallurgical techniques, 3. A developed tradition of mechanical engineering. This raises profound historical questions. Who possessed the knowledge to create such an instrument in the 1st century BCE? Some scholars attribute it to the legendary mathematician Archimedes or his followers, as ancient texts mention him creating similar astronomical devices. Others suggest it may represent the pinnacle achievement of an entire school of Greek mechanics whose other works were lost during Rome's conquest of Greece. The device's isolation in the archaeological record presents another mystery. If such technology existed, why have no other examples survived? Possible explanations include the Roman preference for practical over theoretical sciences, the destruction of Greek learning centers like Alexandria's library, the recycling of valuable bronze components over centuries, the possible loss of similar devices in undiscovered shipwrecks. Modern reconstructions have proven the device's functionality, confirming that ancient Greek scientists understood principles of celestial mechanics not formally rediscovered until the Renaissance. The most complete reconstruction, created by scientists at University College London in 2021, demonstrates how the mechanism could accurately predict astronomical events decades in advance. The Antikythera device stands as both a triumph of ancient ingenuity and a sobering reminder of how much knowledge can be lost to time. Its existence suggests that ancient technological capabilities were far more advanced than previously believed. Our current understanding of historical scientific progress contains significant gaps. Other sophisticated ancient technologies may await discovery. As research continues using increasingly advanced imaging techniques, new inscriptions and mechanical details continue to emerge from this 2,000-year-old marvel. Each revelation reinforces its status as the most complex scientific instrument surviving from antiquity, a haunting glimpse of lost knowledge that forces us to reconsider the technological landscape of the ancient world. This singular artifact proves that our ancestors' scientific achievements may have reached heights we are only beginning to comprehend, challenging the linear narrative of human technological progress and leaving us to wonder what other advanced ancient innovations may have vanished without a trace. The vanished realm of Aztlan, tracing the Aztecs' mythic origins. Throughout history, numerous advanced societies have risen and fallen, leaving behind only scattered remnants of their existence. Among these enduring mysteries, few captivate scholars as profoundly as the legendary Aztlan, the fabled ancestral homeland of the Aztec civilization. This mythical city, if it ever existed in physical form, has eluded discovery despite centuries of searching. According to Aztec oral traditions and codices, their ancestors inhabited a magnificent island city surrounded by water before undertaking an epic southward migration. This journey ultimately led them to establish their great capital, Tenochtitlan, modern-day Mexico City. The name Aztlan itself carries poetic meaning, commonly interpreted as place of whiteness or land of herons, though its exact significance remains debated among linguists. What transforms Aztlan from mere folklore to compelling historical mystery is the persistent suggestion that it represented an actual geographical location. The quest to locate this lost homeland has spanned generations, with various theories placing it across North America, northern Mexico, or the American Southwest, near the Colorado River or Great Salt Lake, an island settlement in the Gulf of California, submerged ruins in the Caribbean basin. Archaeological investigations have yet to yield definitive proof. One prominent theory focuses on La Quemada in Zacatecas, an ancient fortified city featuring unusual architecture that predates the Aztec Empire. Could these imposing stone structures represent the last vestiges of Aztlan? While intriguing, no direct evidence confirms this connection. Alternative interpretations suggest Aztlan may have been 1. A cultural region rather than a single city. 2. Part of the Hohokam civilization's domain in Arizona. 3. A casualty of rising sea levels, now submerged. Some researchers note parallels between Aztlan and other legendary lost lands like Atlantis or Doggerland, though mainstream archaeology dismisses these as speculative. The Aztecs themselves may have mythologized their origins to reinforce their divine destiny in central Mexico. The enduring search for Aztlan represents more than just archaeological curiosity. It symbolizes our quest to understand the migrations and transformations of ancient civilizations. Whether physical location or powerful origin myth, Aztlan continues to challenge our comprehension of Mesoamerican history, reminding us that the past always holds undiscovered chapters. While some ancient mysteries lie buried or drowned, others persist in plain sight, their true nature obscured not by time, but by our own limited understanding. The enigma of Aztlan stands as testament to history's unfinished story, inviting each generation to continue the search for answers. The Kailasanatha Temple, a mountain transformed into divine architecture. Among humanity's most astonishing architectural achievements stands the Kailasanatha Temple in India, a sacred structure so magnificently conceived and executed that it defies conventional understanding of ancient construction capabilities. Situated within the Ellora cave complex of Maharashtra, this extraordinary edifice presents a unique paradox. Rather than being built upward from foundation to roof like most structures, it was painstakingly revealed by removing everything that wasn't temple from a single basalt mountain. At first observation, the temple appears as another impressive Indian religious monument. However, closer examination reveals its truly revolutionary nature. Craftsmen didn't assemble this shrine stone by stone. They excavated an estimated 200,000 tons of volcanic rock in precise subtraction, working from the mountain's peak downward to create the complex. This vertical excavation technique remains unparalleled in ancient architecture, essentially sculpting a freestanding temple complex by removing surrounding material rather than adding components. While most scholars attribute its creation to Rashtrakuta King Krishna I in the 8th century CE, dedicating the site to Lord Shiva's mythical abode Mount Kailash, no historical records document its construction methods. The temple's perfect proportions and intricate details, including pillars, galleries, and sculpted deities, emerge from the living rock with breathtaking precision. Traditional explanations suggest artisans used simple chisels and hammers over decades, yet the mathematics of removal suggest impossible productivity, requiring extraction of approximately 60,000 tons annually if completed within the purported 18-year timeframe. This discrepancy has fueled alternative theories. 1. Lost construction techniques. Possible advanced ancient methodologies since Forgotten 2. Extended timeline. A multi-generational project later attributed to a single reign 3. Symbolic purpose. Intentional creation as an eternal, indestructible representation of divine permanence. The temple's flawless symmetry and smooth surfaces invite comparison to other ancient engineering marvels like Machu Picchu or Giza's pyramids. While Ellora contains over 100 rock-cut caves representing Buddhist, Hindu, and Jain traditions, none approach Kailasanatha's scale or complexity. This architectural wonder continues to mystify scholars with fundamental questions. How were precise measurements maintained during top-down excavation? What organizational systems enabled such coordinated labor? Why does no similar megalithic subtractive architecture exist elsewhere? Whether viewed as testament to human devotion, evidence of lost technology, or both, the Kailasanatha Temple endures as one of history's most inspiring structural enigmas, a mountain transformed through vision, perseverance, and perhaps knowledge we no longer possess. Its silent stones challenge our assumptions about ancient capabilities, while demonstrating humanity's eternal drive to manifest the divine in physical form. Note, I've completely rephrased the original text while maintaining all factual information and enhancing readability through 1. More vivid descriptive language. 2. Clearer organization of key points. 3. Stronger thematic connections. 4. More engaging narrative flow. The new title better reflects the temple's dual nature as both natural formation and human creation. The Vanished Archives of Alexandria, civilization's most devastating knowledge gap. Throughout the ages, countless cultural treasures have disappeared into the shadows of time, their wisdom erased from human memory. Yet no intellectual catastrophe compares to the annihilation of Alexandria's great library, a name that still evokes visions of towering shelves overflowing with the accumulated knowledge of antiquity. This was no ordinary collection of scrolls, but rather the most comprehensive storehouse of information the ancient world had ever known. Historical accounts suggest its archives contained hundreds of thousands of manuscripts encompassing every field of study, groundbreaking scientific theories, advanced mathematical treatises, pioneering medical texts, astronomical observations, philosophical discourses, historical chronicles of vanished nations. The library's origins trace back to the 3rd century BCE Egypt under Ptolemaic rule. Ptolemy the Soter and his successor Ptolemy the Philadelphus envisioned transforming Alexandria into the world's preeminent center of scholarship. Their magnificent Mausion complex housed lecture theaters for renowned thinkers, laboratories for scientific experimentation, botanical gardens for medicinal research, and at its intellectual heart, the legendary library. An ambitious acquisition program sought to obtain every written work in existence. Ships entering Alexandria's harbor were boarded by royal scribes who confiscated scrolls for copying, sometimes keeping originals in the royal collection. Ptolemaic agents scoured global markets, purchasing entire libraries from Athens to Babylon. The collection reportedly included lost dialogues of Aristotle, original mathematical proofs by Pythagoras, unrecorded histories of Mesopotamia, Egyptian medical texts predating Hippocrates, possibly even accounts of prehistoric civilizations, The library's catastrophic destruction remains shrouded in historical controversy, with multiple conflicting narratives. Julius Caesar's fire, 48 BCE. During his Alexandrian campaign, Caesar's forces set fire to the harbor, flames allegedly spreading to library warehouses containing 40,000 to 70,000 scrolls. However, many scholars believe the main library survived this incident. Aurelian's siege, 272 CE, the Roman emperor's brutal reconquest of Alexandria from Palmyrene forces, may have severely damaged the Mausolleum complex and its remaining collections. Theodosian decrees, 391 CE, Christian riots targeting pagan institutions, potentially destroyed the Serapeum Annex, where surviving scrolls may have been relocated. Muslim conquest myth, 642 CE. A disputed account claims Caliph Umar ordered the burning of remaining texts, though most modern historians dismiss this as later anti-Islamic propaganda. The true scope of lost knowledge is incalculable. Potential casualties include Archimedes' complete mechanical theories, Heron's advanced engineering designs, Aristarchus's heliocentric astronomy models, Eratosthenes' geographical studies, unknown medical breakthroughs. Some historians argue the disaster set back human progress by nearly a millennium, while others contend copies of significant work survived elsewhere. Regardless, Alexandria's destruction represents an irreplaceable rupture in humanity's intellectual lineage, a sobering testament to knowledge's fragility. This greatest of historical tragedies continues to haunt our collective imagination. What revolutionary ideas perished in those flames? What ancient wisdom might have accelerated human development? The vanished archives stand as both a warning about preserving knowledge and an enduring mystery of what might have been.